All right, and welcome to another episode of the Comics Brew and Chew podcast, coming straight out of one of our basements.
This is our big 10th episode.
Ooh, I did not know that because I have not kept track. We should be on 12, maybe, and I know we're only cheating because we have a couple extras we threw in there for good measure. But today, we will be talking about another book that I picked. Surprisingly, it is by Sean Gordon Murphy. It is his newest book, which he has already announced a sequel for, Batman White Knight.
Wait, sequel?
There is a sequel.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I saw him post about it. It's got Azrael, the fucking fire sword guy.
Azrael.
Yeah. This is from DC's Black Label. It is the second technically DC Black Label book to come out. When it initially came out, it is an 8-part miniseries. It came out under... It's just a book. It's coming out. It's to much fanfare because of who was doing it. And it's got coloring by Matt Hollingsworth. I need to shout that out because he is one of the greatest colorists I've ever seen, and his work with Murphy is always top tier. Because the only other book we've ever done on this channel with Murphy was Black and White, which is something we can always compare it to later on.
Yeah.
But DC Black Label was them trying to go in a more, not like adult direction with like pornography and stuff, but like a more mature reader line as opposed to the mainstream comic book line, which is available for anybody. These would be like their old print Elseworlds, not really in continuity. This was a way for artists and writers to kind of flex their creativity with characters they wanted to work with that wouldn't impact the ongoing series. They kind of sank that with the first issue of Batman Damned, where Brian Azzarello and Lee Bermejo drew a bat dick in the first issue, which blew the internet up.
And then they recalled it, right?
They recalled it. They censored it online. They put out a censored issue. And since then, Black Label has been up in the air because there are numerous other titles that are supposed to be coming out. However, they did slap the Black Label on the Batman White Knight trade I am currently in possession of. I also have all the single issues and all the variant covers because I am that guy. It has been quite some time since I read this book because I read it monthly, and then after I bought the trade, I immediately tossed it off to these guys so we could do the podcast. So I know a couple of you have read it like incredibly recently, as if hours before this podcast recording.
Yesterday.
So yesterday. So your thoughts and opinions on the book. Wait, before that, have to shout out what we're snacking and drinking on today. We have
The
usual Tim Tams, the favorites. We got cookies from our local supermarket that we work at, a couple of us. Little Debbie Cosmic Brownies. And I am currently enjoying a Michelob Ultra because New Year, New Me. And everybody else has Seagram's Escapes, Jamaican Me Happy, because Amanda needed something to drink.
And apparently John and I did too.
Yeah, apparently.
Tom, do you already finish yours?
Yeah.
Holy shit,
Jesus, you want the other one?
No, I'm good.
Okay, good.
It's only 3.2 AVP. Only.
AVP?
Yeah, alcohol. APV. Sorry. Alcohol per volume. Not Alien vs. Predator.
I'm down to watch it at any point in time.
God, no.
It's not good,
No.
but I'll watch it.
No.
Well, we
So-
drink a lot of alcohol.
We can make a drinking game.
White Knight.
White Knight. The SJWs of the internet. No. Joking.
Funny.
Thank you.
So, we all know, I like Batman.
John likes Batman.
I think Fred's indifferent.
I really have no opinions.
Depends. I guess it depends who he reads. Yeah. We know Amanda has some very strong opinions on Batman.
And I'm basically like Fred, where
Yeah.
it depends on the particular
I mean,
story.
I like Batman. I'm not gonna lie. Batman got me into comics, but
Bruce Wayne doesn't really even take center stage in White Knight. He kind of does.
he does.
He just devolves.
Right.
Very slowly.
Which is
It's
always a nice take on Batman.
Yeah, I usually like Batman who are falling apart at the seams.
So, Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, Dark Knight
and Batman v
Returns.
Superman, Dawn of Justice.
He's not falling apart in that one. That's fake. He's falling apart in this one.
Should we,
Court of Owls.
Ooh, how
Volume
timely.
one, at least.
How many times during my reading of this did you guys get fuck Batman? Because
Several times.
I did really love the opening with... I think they were just calling bullshit on Batman Begins at the opening when he's driving the Batmobile on all the roofs and,
Yeah,
It's a cross between Batman Begins and The Killing Joke, where he pulls up outside of Arkham Asylum. Because he goes in and he has his conversation with the Joker. Meanwhile, in this one, he just beats the Joker to death. Or...
basically to death, and then shoves pills down his throat.
the Batmobile pulling up at the asylum reminds me of the game Arkham Asylum, because that's how it starts.
That's
but this time around,
that's an homage to The Killing Joke.
it's not Batman visiting Joker. It's Joker visiting Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Because as we do, recap a little bit, Batman beats the shit out of the Joker and force feeds him his crazy pills, like, to make him better. And it turns out he had the right, like, pharmaceutical cocktail to make the Joker sane. And then the Joker comes back as this, like, politician dude, and the entire city turns on Batman because they realize how much money it costs to clean up after him. And then shenanigans ensue, and it is fucking fantastic.
But it's like, the whole time you read this book, well, early on, you're thinking, it's a ruse. The Joker, this is a long play by the Joker. This whole thing is him. And then the main antagonist doesn't even turn out to be the Joker. It turns out to be Neo Joker.
No, Neo Harley Quinn.
She
calls
goes by
herself
Neo Joker.
That's right.
AKA Harley Quinn 2. Which is, I mean, she goes by Harley Quinn. Her real name's like Marion something.
Yeah.
She was a bank teller.
Yeah,
and-
Joker just picks her up and she's like, just kind of plays the role. But she ends up getting all pissed off and into a fight with the other Harley Quinn.
The real Harley
The
Quinn.
real Harley Quinn.
Harleen Quinzel herself.
Yeah. And it's just, it's interesting. It's an interesting take. Joker isn't, Joker's obviously front and center, but a little bit of everyone shows up, like your classic Batman villain fanfare.
You get basically the entire roster of Batman villains for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, depends how far you want to go, because Batman has, like...
You skip Calendar Man.
Yeah, Batman has, like...
Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Yeah, Batman has, like, a deep dive of, like, villains because of, like, the comics code and bullshit like that, where they were just making guys up. But, like, for a lot of mainstay, like, name, recognizable villains, you got the gambit. It's cool, because you get to see Joker... like, if his, like, the amount of creativity, ingenuity, just how genius he is as, like, a sadist and, like, a villain, if you turn the spectrum and you made him a good guy, like, how, like, ingenious he is. And, like,
how
that,
much different Gotham City would be.
Like, how genius his plans are, if put to good.
Yeah.
Kind of like the inverse of Batman, but he doesn't have to hide a persona.
Yeah.
I actually liked this one.
Yeah, that was nuts.
It's like the perfect blend of everything Batman in terms of like tones. Like you get stuff that's wacky, like the animated series, or Tim Burton's Batman, and then you get stuff that's more grounded, like say the Nolan trilogy or just in general.
Yeah.
And then like at the end it gets a little crazy because you have like super freeze guns and a whole like Power Ranger-esque team of Batmen and women.
But I'm not gonna lie, Freeze is my favorite Batman villain. Mm-hmm. So making him a central figure in this instantly had me.
Mm.
And then he had to reference that he was all out of ice puns.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah, I loved that. There's another tongue-in-cheek reference to Batman in here. I think Gordon makes it, and I can't remember what it is.
One of the big things about Gordon, though, is watching him pinched in the middle, like his loyalty to Batman that he's had for so long versus his loyalty to the city that he swore to protect.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because he's like, Batman has always been like a reliable superhero, there for us, there for the people, but now he's going too far. Now his push for justice is putting too many people in harm's way. He's towing the line that he promised he'd never tow with, like, killing the Joker or killing anybody in general. And, like, he's not what Gotham needs.
Yeah.
Gotham needs, like, actual people to stand up and help them out.
And then at the end of the book, the Joker comes to the realization, he's known the whole time who Batman is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because obviously the whole Red Hood type, the origin of the Red Hood story where Joker's beating Robin to death.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of killing Robin, his last words are believed to be, "I wish I never met Bruce Wayne."
Mm-hmm.
And then Joker just lets him go.
Right. That's because in this universe, Sean Murphy plays with the timeline. He says Jason Todd was the first Robin, not Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
Because in the main universe, Dick Grayson grows up, becomes Nightwing. Then he gets Jason Todd. He dies as Robin under the hand of the Joker. In this one, Dick Grayson lives in the fear and shadow of ending up like Jason Todd, but he still keeps going.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he doesn't even know who Jason Todd is, though. Because they go to the... no, was that Batgirl?
They might be
Batgirl.
Batgirl.
Someone doesn't
No.
know who Jason Todd
Because
is.
I think in this one they also play with the old idea from like the TV show that Batgirl wasn't a part of the Bat family. She was someone that assumed the same mantle, which Batwoman does later on. Like Batwoman in the current continuity does the same thing where she just affects the title of a Bat character without being anywhere close to being involved with the actual Bat family. But then she becomes a part of it by donning the cowl.
And that's like the current Rebirth stuff?
Well, just more the current continuity for those
Gotcha.
characters, because now Batgirl is such a long-standing figure.
Yep.
She's just now auto-lumped in with everybody.
Yep. That makes sense.
Can't forget to mention that the most tragic part of this is that Alfred dies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not even like, oh, old age. He's like on like life support or some kind of like medical contraption. And he takes himself off of it
And
Right.
puts
to
Bruce
save
on.
Batman's life. And like that's kind of one of the driving factors for Batman to finally like go over the edge in this one.
Because
Like, he's on the edge the whole time, and then that just like it sends him off.
Yeah, because like Alfred's always grounded him in every iteration.
I know Barbara refers to Alfred as Batman's moral center,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, and now
Yep.
that like he's gone, she worries what Gotham's gonna be like under this Batman without a moral compass.
But like, there's a lot of interesting things that happen in here. Like, the Neo Joker gets everybody together, and she gets all these villains, and she's like, "We're gonna start like a new villain society," and to do so, she puts a little piece of Clayface in everybody's drink, and then uses Mad Hatter technology to mind control everybody because she's mind controlling Clayface, and by ingesting Clayface clay, you are then subject to the same mind control. So she controls Bane, Killer Croc, everybody. The only person she can't mind control is Mad Hatter, but he's too afraid of her as it is.
Yeah, he kind of works under her.
Yep.
Who else is in here? I'm looking at the page for reference.
Why not?
The ventriloquist.
Yeah,
Excuse me, the Riddler, the Penguin. Poison Ivy, a couple other characters.
No Scarecrow, huh?
someone calls Penguin Happy Feet in this book.
Yes.
I really enjoyed that reference.
Yes. So that was
Killer
fun.
Croc. I forgot about him.
I like Killer Croc's design.
Yeah, Bane's redesign is like that half Tom Hardy, half luchador-esque style.
Nah, it needs more Gotham Bane.
And then there's, it's actually interesting because in this like Batman story, you follow Batman the least.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like Joker.
Oh,
Or, well,
Jack Napier,
Jack Napier.
and then a lot of Gordon and Gordon's task force for combating not only the villains
But Batman as
but
well.
Batman, and then the problems Batman starts, and the fact that they have this Gotham Insider that keeps popping up every now and then is very Dark Knight Returns-esque with the running news commentary about the actual events that are going on.
Yeah. There's one sequence in the book where the Gotham terror something
Yeah.
oppression group or something. What are you doing? That's the cat playing with a rock. But they decide to finally take down Batman, and it's this cool thing where you have Barbara Gordon as Batgirl and Nightwing working with the police to take down Batman, and they actually come up with a really cool plan, which is to blind him and then kill the lights, so his pupils have to take time to dilate. But Jim Gordon's there and he's been blindfolded the whole time. So his eyes are already used to the dark. And then he takes down Batman with a pit maneuver. And it's just cool to see, like, cops take down Batman. Mm-hmm. To prove, like, 'cause the whole Batman's thing is that he's the only one who can do it. And then they're like, no, if you gave us the money and your resources, the police could do it.
Yeah. Which is funny because there's an old Scott Snyder story that says that Batman gives the police like his technology and stuff and resources, and they're like, we don't know what to do with it. But and then towards the end of the book, Mr. Freeze takes over as like the big bad, and he's freezing Gotham. No, he's not freezing Gotham.
It's,
Neo Joker is
Joker.
using
Yep,
old
yep.
freeze technology, which is just the freeze
Third
ray.
Reich freeze technology, because he's a Nazi
Yeah.
this time around.
Who has connections with the Waynes, which is where everybody's taking down Bruce Wayne and like the public. But Neo Joker uses the freeze ray from Batman and Robin to freeze over Gotham, And that's like a major plot point for the end of the book, where Batman and the GTO have to team up to take down Neo Joker. And then at the end of that is when like everything comes to a head and like the Joker reverts back to Jokerism because he has to sacrifice himself to save Batman, to save everybody. And it's just fucking nuts. And like it definitely goes off the rails at some point, but in like a good way, because it like the end of the movie is that action thriller you're looking for.
Yeah.
Like all the intrigue, like there's definitely plenty of action and stuff throughout the rest of the book, but there's definitely more intrigue and like character study for these characters, and definitely in this alternate universe than there is in most other Batman books.
And prior to the ending, you can't really have fun with any of the action up to that point. It's all done in a way that's very brutal and makes you think like, shit, this destruction is harming the city, and Batman is the root of all of this.
It's what like the DC movies kind of wanted to touch on with like the start of Justice League, but done like 10 times more like expertly.
Well, I mean, they completely dropped that in Justice League.
It was Batman vs Superman. I'm sorry.
The whole he's operating above the law.
And then they realized they suck, and they got Aquaman right. So yay.
But then you realize like Superman's like doing the same thing as Batman.
Yeah.
I never got why they tried to use that whole like holier than thou angle in that movie.
It would have worked if they got
destroyed...
Superman as Superman in his first film.
He destroys half a city, and then he's like, "Hey, Batman, you threw a trailer around Gotham City. How dare you? I'm gonna take you down."
But the fact that they have Dick end up a cop for a little while is fun, because they do that in the main comics for a while. I don't know. It's just
the whole Batman-esque task force was really cool to me. I love them all in there. Like it was almost like a Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah, right.
They're all in there like souped up cars trying to take down Batman.
The fact that they got members of the Bat family themselves to turn against Batman because of how cruel and unusual he's become.
Well, yeah,
is also a nice new fresh take on things.
And then go ahead, Amanda. Sorry.
So this is the one with the whole Robin subplot, right?
What do you mean?
Well, not really subplot, but
What?
the one that you said that I should ask John about the.
Oh,
no,
Red
it's
Hood's.
Court of Owls.
Well,
See?
yeah.
You handed me too much Batman.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll
to be
save
fair,
that.
I'm like in my mind because I read them so close. I'm trying to like
Separate them.
Yeah.
She's having a good old time.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's wrong with the cat. She's being the cat, but I don't know what. She just like
Why are you doing
parkoured
this?
across the room. All right. Well,
Something must be going on inside.
Yeah, like the White. I don't know. White Knight is just. It's so interesting because like you really can't wonder if like it really is a Joker the whole time. If it isn't, like if he is cured, and then you find out at the end of the book, the whole thing was a ruse. It was all a setup, not by Joker, by Harley Quinn. She's the one who like tipped Batman off to the chase with the Joker that ends with him stuffing pills down his throat. She was the one who filmed Batman stuffing the pills down Joker's throat. It was all her plan, and she goes on this whole thing about like how it's like almost a weird level of love.
And that was
the two.
the most interesting part of the book for me, was that weird like Batman, Harley Quinn, Joker love triangle where basically she feels like she has to compete with Batman for Joker's attention. And I haven't read a lot of stuff or seen a lot of stuff with Harley Quinn and how that trio works. But you get a lot of that even if you think like The Dark Knight or some of the other big Batman comics, pre the creation of Harley Quinn, where it is this obsessive relationship between the two. So throwing in an actual romantic-esque interest there does put an interesting wedge in the Joker-Batman feud.
And it's what was the point I was gonna make? It's also why like Joker goes after Robin. He's jealous that he'll never be as close to Batman as Robin is.
Yeah.
And that's why he never told Batman that he didn't kill Robin.
Yeah.
He just let Robin go. Robin fakes his death, stops being, Robin.
Because there's an instance where the Joker does win, because now he is closer than this Robin who doesn't want anything to do with
And Batman's been living this whole time thinking, Jason Todd is dead because of me, and that I failed. And then when Joker drops the realization that he's not dead, he just doesn't want to be around you. Batman just almost breaks at that point.
Now that begs a question, because I didn't realize this either, but you mentioned about a sequel coming, Fred.
Yes.
Is that something the sequel is going to explore, or have they not said?
The sequel's not out yet, Tom. I don't know what.
I don't know if there's been any solicitations out or anything.
He literally announced it like a month ago, and he's like, "I'm doing a sequel."
Though.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know when it was announced or how long it's been.
It's been like a month. Oh,
Okay.
he put out promo images for like the cover, and it's all he's announced is the main villain is Azrael.
Okay.
Azrael could be really cool. I've only seen him in... I think I've read a book with a little bit of Azrael, and then I know him from like the Arkham games. But in the Arkham games, he's really cool.
This is the version of Harley that I'd rather see in the movies.
This is a much more interesting... I wanted to touch on that.
Yeah.
How much more interesting this version of Harley is.
Then that promo that we got today for...
Oh yeah, they dropped the Birds of Prey promo, and boy, does...
That's the thing.
This looks like it could be the trailer for Jewel and the Holograms. Like, it really does.
The on-screen Harley with the movie and then like a couple of the subsequent animated films have all kept her in the same niche of, hey, I'm this comedy relief Deadpool-esque character, but unlike Deadpool, I'm not gross and hideous. Watch me show off my butt and tits.
Yeah.
Like, and then that's sellable, and then you get 8-year-olds going out with Daddy's Little Monster Halloween costumes,
Yep.
which is disgusting. This one, she is, granted, not saying that the full-bodied, skin-tight suit is any better, but she's at least a more interesting and developed character that isn't, hey, I'm fourth wall breaking, lol, I hit stuff, I kill people. Like, I'm female Joker, but it's not weird to have perverted thoughts about me. Like,
Yeah, the whole, like, point and interest in Harley Quinn, for me, stems from the way it explores that sort of abusive relationship between the two, and that's something that... Like, the amount of people that came out of Suicide Squad with, like, all the, like, Harley and Joker merchandise and everything, that's just completely... And
Missing
the way
the
that
point.
film and everything
Yeah.
surrounding the film missed the point of what that quote-unquote relationship is
Yeah.
supposed to
I
be.
have so many issues with that
They
whole thing.
glorified it.
I didn't
They
love-
almost kind of always have glorified the
Yeah.
Joker-Harley
Yeah.
relationship.
I didn't love White Knight, but I appreciated that it dug into that a little bit more and played up the abusive angle and how shitty it is from, you
And
know,
even like the change of it, like
Yeah.
the Joker admits he's like it gave me power over you, and that's why I liked it. And when he's
Yep.
Jack Napier, he's just like, yeah, I was a fucking dick, but guess what? Like, here I am now telling you that, you know, the Joker's gone, I'm here, and it's this is someone who actually cares about her. Mm-hmm. And then the Neo Harley or whatever her name is comes in,
Neo
and she's
Joker,
like,
yeah.
she's like, no, he liked me more, and blah blah blah. Needs to take his pills, and yeah, like she mentioned, she self harms, and he shows
Yeah.
up, and like she goes with him because he robs the bank and takes her with him,
And
then she-
mistakenly calls her Harley, and she
and
runs
she
with
just
it.
follows with it, and she even acknowledges that Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
She's like, I know what it was. She goes, it just felt good to feel wanted by somebody. And then that drives her crazy into this whole, like, I need the Joker type deal.
Yep.
and there's one character in here that none of you would be able to recognize.
Try me.
Oh yeah, that I want to touch on specifically, and not in any particular reason, just because of his usage here as opposed to his usage elsewhere.
Oh, is it Duke?
The character of Duke.
Okay.
Duke is a Scott Snyder creation that went absolutely nowhere,
Okay.
and he has not been used anywhere better but in White Knight, because they've aged him up significantly. He's like a Robin-esque character for Batman in the Snyder books, but to much less success because he doesn't do anything as a Robin there. Because he's not a Robin, he becomes this character called, I think, the Signal. But he's like an Oracle, Batgirl, Robin-esque character, all lumped into one after a really crappy event that I'll tell you guys about in the next episode of the podcast because it's got more to do with the Court of Owls. But seeing him here as a representative of like the impoverished and the lower class of Gotham, who you literally never see outside of Batman running through their alleyways,
Yep.
is neat. He's like, hey, we're the part of Gotham that literally no one cares about, and our shit is always getting trashed. He's like, they're robbing banks and shit, and doing all this other stuff. So the upper class is always affected, and those are the guys that always get the help. But he's like, we live in this shitty condition every day, and then the only time you guys kind of give a crap is when Batman tanks his way through one of our houses. Like,
And they didn't even really give a crap until Jack Napier was like, look, he ran this woman's house over.
yeah.
And her roof collapsed. But yeah, so White Knight, I'm really excited to see where the sequel goes. I can't wait to read it when it comes out, probably later this year, I imagine.
I'm not sure. I think probably summer, fall this year. But, so this is the second book we've done by the same author. And same artist, because he's the same dude.
I love the art. Barbara did look a lot like the girl from Punk Rock Jesus.
Yeah. He's very stylistic, but I was going to say, what did you guys think of the art overall? And then this time, with Hollingsworth on coloring, as opposed to just the black and white inks of Murphy in the last one.
I mean, I loved the art in both. And I think, color versus black and white, each one fit its story. I think there was so much going on all at once that I don't know how black and white would have worked for this. Just like I think the black and white lent something really special to Punk Rock Jesus. I love Murphy's style, and I think, the right choice was made in each.
Like I told you guys before, it's a variant cover, I think, for issue 6. That's the image that made me fall in love with the series before it even came out. It's a picture of Mr. Freeze in his suit standing in front of Nora. But because of the way they do it, it is literally just darkness and then just varying shades of blue from dark blue to white.
The glow from her.
The glow from her
tank.
Yeah, and the glow from like the coolants in his suit.
Freeze has always been like stylistically. I've always loved him. Like and not so much the Schwarzenegger version, obviously, but I've always loved his like big bulky suit and like everything about that. I've always loved.
Yeah.
I feel like this one they went with more of the animated series style of like slimming down the suit to just a dude in like a bodysuit and a helmet.
Wasn't Mike Mignola responsible for his animated series look?
He may have been. I'm not entirely sure, but I know Animated Freeze is like the only episode of the animated series to win a daytime Emmy.
Okay.
Because of the Heart of Ice episode where you find out about Nora and like why Freeze is who he is.
I haven't seen any of that show since I was really young. I used to watch that in Justice League and Static Shock a lot.
Static Shock.
I did too, but that's why this series is really cool because it kind of plays into that world of like the animated series.
Yeah.
And then it's like, you're all adults now. Let's make it a little more adult.
But it definitely sticks with that.
Yeah.
The whole like it. He definitely like Sean Gordon Murphy definitely acknowledges people and like with references and like all the Batmobiles are in this book,
Right.
For the most part, there's the whole scene where they're all trying to take down Freeze's cannon, that's hijacked by Neo Joker, and it's like everyone's in a recognizable Batmobile. Like Batman's in his own, obviously,
Right.
and then Batgirl's in the Tumbler from the Nolan series. I think does this predate Batman vs Superman? Because I don't think you see that one.
I believe so. But who? But also, who would want to see that one?
That's true. I mean, I like that design. It's not my favorite. I always like the Tumbler.
Oh yeah, Tumblr's fantastic. But the Tumbler bike shows up.
The Tumbler,
Yes.
yeah, the Tumbler bike, the Tumbler.
Was it the Bat Pod? I think they call
the
it.
Bat Pod?
The Bat Pod. And then the Bat was just the flying thing in the third one.
Yeah, even though it's supposed to be the Batwing, but
The Bat.
Yeah, just the Bat. Morgan Freeman said it, so it's okay. But yeah, normally I'd ask at this point, hey, how would you guys rank this as opposed to the other books we've read?
Phenomenal.
Right. But because we're going to be doing something else in a second, stay tuned for another episode of the Comics Brew and Chew podcast. We're going to be comparing Batman White Knight to another Batman title, which has been referenced in this episode. So for now, that is it for this episode, unless anybody else has anything else to say about this book.
Nope. Do you want to do us a full sign off since we'll upload them a day apart?
Yes, that's what my plan was going to be. Because I don't know all the names and the links to things. Just so you guys know, Batman White Knight is out in stores. I believe you can also get a hardcover version, which might be extra nice because Murphy books and hardcover are always fantastic. But after the last episodes, Amanda has made us an Instagram page where you can find us on said platform.
Follow us at comics_BNC.
And we will post there just random pictures and shit. That way we get more of a following. But yeah, like, subscribe, all that good shit. And we'll be back next time with another Bat title on the Comics Brew and Chew podcast. Thanks for listening.
All right. The Batcast.